Okay, cool. Looks good. Okay, we're gonna get started. Let's take a wide leg, child's pose, so knees come out wide. Allow the belly to fold forward, kind of dripping between the legs. Arms are reached out in front of you. And then allow the forehead to drip down toward the mat. And maybe if you can't rest the forehead comfortably, maybe stacking palms and allowing the forehead to rest on the palms. And let's take a deep inhale. Let's take a cleansing breath. So big, deep inhale, fill up the lungs. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Let's do that 2 more times, just kind of settling into this moment together, letting go of anything that we brought in. Big, deep inhale, fill up the lungs. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Very nice. We'll do one more. Big, deep inhale, fill up the lungs. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Very nice. And just connecting the body and the mind, starting to settle here. And let's scan the body for any tension. How are you feeling? How is the body feeling? How are you energetically feeling today? Maybe you're feeling a little like me, kind of rushed and running around. Going from errand to errand, maybe trying to tune out external distractions in your home. Or maybe you feel ready. Maybe you have been looking forward to this moment and time on your mat. And maybe you're just excited to be here together, which I am too. Let's start to connect with the breath. So without changing anything about the breath, just noticing the natural inhales and exhales, whatever that natural pattern is. And then just noticing the depth of the inhale, where in the body that inhale lands. And then noticing maybe the space that's created on the exhale. So we use our breath to hijack our parasympathetic nervous system. And that's the rest and relax and ease state of the body. And so when we use the breath in our practice, it allows us to steady the heart and the mind and the body when we're in these moments of chaos and turmoil and challenge. So we're going to use the Ujjayi pranayama today, our victorious breath. So start to find a slight constriction in the back of the throat. Breathing in, creating a soft whisper sound, a soft audible whisper sound. And then setting up a pattern of breaths that you can maintain for the duration of class. So maybe that's a pattern like an equal part inhale and an equal part exhale. Maybe the exhales are a little bit longer than the inhales, but some type of pattern that you can use, that you can come back to, so that when the mind begins to chatter, when the practice becomes difficult and challenged, you can come back to the breath to keep the mind tethered to the body and to find some ease. So from your child's pose, on your next inhale, we're going to shift forward, coming into all fours. And we're just going to start with a few rounds of cat and cow. So on the inhale, we're going to hammock the belly, tilt the sit bones back, lift the sit bones to the sky, and then pull the heart forward, cow pose. And just hold this for a couple rounds of breath. Maybe start to activate your core a little bit. So drawing the navel into the spine and feeling how that might change the sensation of this pose. Maybe it changes the stretch in the abdomen and in the belly. Maybe it even changes the activation in the back, maybe feeling some of the back muscles contract a little bit more. And then on the exhale, round the spine, lift the back space of the heart to the sky, coming into cat pose, tilting the tailbone down. Let the head be heavy, tucking the chin in toward the chest. Cat pose. Maybe even here, drawing that navel into the spine and noticing how that might change. Maybe you feel that more of that crunching sensation in the abdominal muscles. A little more work involved. And then using the length of your inhale, taking you back into cow. And the length of your next exhale, taking you back into cat. And we'll say a few more rounds using the inhales and the exhales to take you between these two poses. And see if you can maintain that abdominal activation. So we'll be doing a lot of, we'll be needing the strength of our core and our abdomen today. So. And after your last cat, go ahead and find a neutral spine, coming into your tabletop pose. And then we're going to step the right foot on the outside of the right hand. Actually, we'll stay like this. Right foot on the outside of the right hand. And then tuck the back toes. And then scoot that left knee back, maybe just an inch or two. And then untuck the left toes. And then sink the hips, sink into that front left hip flexor. So we're really targeting this front part of the left hip. And then see if you can find a press of the right shoulder and the right knee. So imagine like they're two magnets, opposite magnets, and they're pulling and they're drawn toward one another. So they're really pressing in. So starting to find some activation. So as you're making that press, maybe you're feeling that in the glute or maybe in the hip, that top part of the hip, maybe in the quad. And then let that go. Let the right foot come back to meet the left, and then switch sides, stepping the left foot on the outside of the left hand, tucking the right toes, and then just scooting that right knee back an inch or two. And then untucking the toes, and then sinking the hips forward, getting into that front right hip flexor. And then find that press again, that activation, that press between the left shoulder and the left knee, really pressing firm, strong, staying connected to that breath. Let that go. Step the left foot back to meet the right. We're going to sink the hips back, coming back into child's pose just for a couple of breaths. I just want to use this as an opportunity to remind you that this pose is available to you at any time during your practice. So if you find yourself out of breath or struggling, or maybe just something comes up for you in your practice, this is where you can come to reconnect, to recenter, and to reestablish that breath. Reach the arms forward if they're not already. Press into the hands, tuck the toes, shift the hips up and back, coming into our first downward facing dog. And let's just warm up our dog a little bit here. So if you have a down dog ritual that you like, you can take that now. Otherwise, I'll guide you kind of through what I do. I just like to pedal my feet. I start to bend and straighten my legs, shifting the hips from side to side. We're basically just kind of getting the joints lubricated a little bit. We're waking up the muscles, getting some of the blood circulating in those muscles. And then find some stillness, and we're just going to check in with our alignment. So hands are about shoulder distance apart. We're pressing into all 10 fingers. We're lifting out of the armpits. So imagine if I had a tennis ball and I put it underneath those armpits and I asked you to squeeze and hold that tennis ball in place. It would be virtually impossible. However, that's the effort that you're trying to make there. So imagine you're squeezing a tennis ball in the armpits, allowing the shoulder blades to slide down the back. And then reach the hips to the sky. And then your feet are about hip distance apart. So that's about a fist and a half of space between your big toes. And you're going to find a slight or gentle bend in the knee, or maybe a deep bend. Heels are reaching down toward the earth. No bonus points if they touch. Unless you're my friend Susan, she gets bonus points for touching because she's amazing. And then let's draw the navel into the spine. So oftentimes this is a pose where we tend to dump into the shoulders and flare out those ribs. But think really strong trunk here, like a tree trunk. So the navel draws into the spine and we're cinching those low ribs in, really tight and active. Bend the knees, gaze forward. On the exhale, you're gonna walk step to the top of the mat, walk or step to the top of the mat, meeting in a forward fold. Allow the spine to round here, let the head be heavy, keeping a slight bend in the knees and the torso resting on the thighs. Hands resting on the earth. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, half lift, palms come to shins. Spine is flat and long, reaching out through the crown of the head, out of the top of the mat. And then tilting those sit bones behind you, lifting the sit bones up. Exhale, forward fold. On your inhale, you're going to rise up one vertebrae at a time, rolling the spine. Head comes up last, arms come down to the side. Very nice. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let's step the feet out the width of the mat so they're wide. And then inhale, sink the hips back, chair pose. Reach the hands to the sky. Check in with alignment, making sure that the knees are not jutting out beyond the toes. We want to still be able to see our pretty little toes here. Hands can come to heart center or they can reach up to the sky. Draw that navel into the spine. Again, finding that abdominal activation here. Take an inhale. And then on the exhale, hinging forward into your forward fold. Plant the hands on the inside of the feet and step the left foot back, coming into this high lizard lunge. Take an inhale. Exhale, step the right foot back to meet the left. Inhale, step the right foot on the outside of the right hand, coming back into lizard lunge. Exhale, step the right foot back to meet the left. Inhale, step the right foot back up. Yep, we're gonna do this for some time. Step the right foot back, step it back up. Using your own breath to guide this movement. So the inhales will take you up, exhales, take it back. If a different pattern of breath works for you, you can try that. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to stay really strong, pressing through the hands, lifting out of the shoulders. And really the only thing that's moving is that leg, is that right leg. You can also release that left knee to the earth as an option to continue these step ups. We'll say 2 more. After your last one, step the right foot back to meet the left. On the next exhale, lowering all the way down onto the belly, untuck the toes, allow the hands to come down toward the low ribs, draw the elbows in toward one another. Inhale, reach the heart forward, cobra pose. Exhale, tuck the toes, push yourself up through a plank, lifting the hips up and back, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat, meeting in your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky, upward salute. Exhale, hands come to heart center, mountain pose. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step the feet out the width of the mat. Inhale, sink those hips back, coming into your wide-legged chair pose. Use the breath to steady the body here. Use the breath to steady the mind. Use the breath to steady the heart. On the exhale, hinging forward into your wide leg forward fold. Plant the hands on the inside of the feet and then step that right foot back. And yeah, we get to do that again on this side. So exhale, step the left foot back. Inhale, step the left foot on the outside of the left hand. Exhale, step that left foot back. Inhale, step the left foot on the outside of the left hand. You guys got this. This is looking great. So just again, think really strong plank pose, right? This is our plank pose. And then think the only thing that's really moving is that left leg. It's the only thing that's really moving. We're trying to stay as still as possible in our shoulders, in our core, in our hips, and even in the supporting leg. That right leg, the knee can come down onto the earth. There's still lots of work that can be done with the support of the right knee on the earth. We'll say 2 more. I'm just gonna come in and check on you guys. Fucking badasses. Yes, oh, it looks so good. All right, after your last one, take an inhale. Let's exhale, lower halfway, chaturanga. Release the tops of the feet. Inhale, pull the heart forward, coming into upward facing dog. Tuck the toes, shift the hips up and back, meeting in downward facing dog. Yes. Let's take a cleansing breath together. Big, deep inhale, fill up the lungs. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach the right heel to the sky. Let's bend the knee, open the hip. Notice if you've redistributed weight into that left hand and see if you can balance that out between your two hands here first. And then rotate that right knee around the hip. Switch directions. And then inhale, reach that right heel to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward to plank, right knee, right tricep. Inhale, right heel to the sky. Exhale, right knee to nose. Inhale, right heel to sky. Exhale, right knee, left tricep. Oh yeah, feel it, it's good. Exhale, right heel to sky. Take an inhale. Exhale, step the right foot all the way through between the hands, spin the back foot flat so that the toes are pointing toward the left side of the mat. And then inhale, rise up, coming into your warrior two. And maybe take a moment here if your block isn't already at the top of the mat. You want to take it about a foot, maybe 2 feet out in front of that right foot. We'll be coming into half moon. So if you know kind of about where that distance is for you and using the block, you can place it there. We can always adjust it once we get into the pose too. Let's check in with the alignment of our warrior two here. So really find this lifting energy, the strength and power of your legs, moving into the torso. Torso is facing the left side of the mat, shoulders stacked over hips. Arms are out to the side like a T and gaze is out over that right middle finger. If you would like to show me your right middle finger, I won't be offended. I'll be honored. Maybe sink into that right knee a little bit more. Beautiful. Maybe close the eyes. Connect with the breath. Maybe that right leg is talking to you. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Right arm comes up and overhead. Left arm comes down that back leg. If you lift it out of that right knee, sink back into that right knee. Lift the heart to the sky. I know that right leg is talking. See if you can connect with the breath. Use the breath to steady the body, the heart. On the next exhale, extended side angle, right forearm to right thigh, reaching the left arm up and overhead. See if you can feel this nice, powerful line of energy from the outside of the left ankle, traveling all the way up the left leg, the left hip, the side body, out the shoulder, the arms, and through the fingertips. So feel that powerful line of energy. Take that left hand and bring it to the left hip. Start to bend in a little bit more into that right knee. Set your gaze out to your block. And the right hand is going to reach out for the block. And then we're going to lift off of that back foot, coming into half moon pose. Left leg is lifted, foot is flexed, toes are pointed toward the left side of the mat, and the torso is opening up to the left. You can keep a bend in that right knee to help you feel more supported, or standing up straight, extending the leg. And then left hand can stay placed on the hip or can reach up to the sky. I don't know what's going on with the weather. Or maybe it's just the weather in my yoga room today, but I am like, there's like no air in here at all. It's like a hot yoga class right now. So I don't know if you guys are feeling the same. Or maybe it's just the class, I don't know. Take that left hand, place it onto the left hip. And then start to rotate the hip toward the mat. So both hip points are facing toward the mat. So you're in this kind of supported warrior three, and then step the left foot down to meet the right, folding in, coming into your forward fold. Allow the knees to bend, the belly rests over thighs. Let's take a ragdoll here. So grabbing opposite elbows, swaying from side to side. Head heavy, gaze is behind you. Let go of that clasp. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, not where you want to go, chair pose. Take those hips back, reach the hands to the sky. I know, I love you. Your legs are gonna love me tomorrow though, I promise. Each of you have beautiful, strong, sexy legs. We got this. I know my right leg is cooked. It's talking to me. I'm using my breath to keep me centered and steady. If you need to lift a little bit higher out of your chair, there's no shame in that. Honor what your body needs here. If you're feeling fired up and active, maybe sinking a little bit deeper. Let's bring hands to heart center. Start to shift weight into the right foot. Getting light on the left, kick the left heel up into the left glute, and then step back about 2/3 of the way down the mat. Left foot is flat, toes are pointed toward the top left corner of the mat. Sink into the right knee. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky, warrior one. Both hip points facing toward the top of the mat. That back leg is strong and active, so really lift that thigh to the sky and press that foot into the earth. Maybe close the eyes. Feel the power of this warrior one. See if you can just find an even distribution of weight in the legs too. So maybe you're dumping more effort into that front leg. See if you can press that left leg into the earth a little bit more to find a better balance and use the power of these legs to support you in this pose. Let's bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Grow tall in your spine. And then exhale, hinge forward halfway, pausing in this active pyramid pose. Spine is long, reaching out through the crown of the head, toward out beyond the top of the mat. Again, finding that even distribution of weight. So notice if you're just dumping everything into the right leg, see if you can find some effort in that back leg to pull the body and hold the body and support the body here. Exhale, folding all the way forward. Allow the spine to round, torso folds in toward the thigh, the head comes in toward the leg. Hands can rest on the calf, the ankle. Maybe you used your yoga block. Find some additional support and lift using the block. And I often say I have sassy hips. My hips like to kick out to the right. So everyone take your right thumb and plug the thumb into that right hip crease. And then draw that right hip back in towards center. And breathe here. These forward folding poses give us an opportunity for self-reflection and introspection. So maybe noticing what's come up for you in your practice today. What's come up for you so far? On your next inhale, bend into the right knee, frame that right foot with the hands outside of the right foot. Step that left foot back just a little bit more. Step the right foot back to meet the left high plank pose. And then option to take your vinyasa, or you can skip it and we'll meet in downward facing dog. We are doing a lot of work in the shoulders. I mean, we're doing just a lot of work in general today. So if you want to skip any of the vinyasas, that's quite all right. All right. So lucky for you, we only have 2 sides, because if it was up to me, we'd have 4. So we'll inhale, reach the left heel to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward to plank, left knee, left tricep. Inhale, reach the left heel to the sky. Exhale, left knee to nose. Inhale, reach the left heel to the sky. Exhale, left knee, right tricep. Inhale, left heel to the sky. Let's bend the knee, open and stack the hips. I know I almost forgot this part. Notice if you've redistributed the weight into your right hand, see if you can balance that out, and then rotate that left knee around the left hip. And then switch directions. Inhale, reach the left heel to the sky. Exhale, step the left foot all the way through between the hands, spin the back foot flat, right toes pointed toward the right side of the mat. Inhale, opening all the way up, coming into our warrior 2 on the left. Just checking in with your alignment. Shoulders stacked over hips, torso facing the right side of the mat. Checking in with that knee, making sure that it's not swayed inside of the body, that it's actually in line, about midline with that left toe, with the middle of the left foot. Arms out to the side like a T. We're sliding the shoulder blades down the back. Gazes out over the left middle finger. Maybe now you feel like showing me your middle finger. I love you guys. And close your eyes. Maybe feel the strength of this pose here. Feeling the strength of those legs. Grounded here. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Left arm comes up and overhead, right arm down the back of the leg. Maybe sink back into that left knee if you lift it out. Reach that heart to the sky. Exhale, extended side angle, left forearm to left thigh, reaching that right arm up and overhead. Find that long line of energy outside, traveling up outside the right ankle, the right leg, over the right hip, the torso, down through the shoulder, the arm, and out through the fingertips. These look beautiful. It's one of my favorite poses. Bring the right hand to the right hip. Set your gaze to your block. So if you've moved your block, see if you can relocate, reposition, and come back. Set your gaze to your block. Start to bend into that left knee. Reach the left hand out toward your block, and then lift off of that back foot. Right leg is now lifted. Foot is flexed. Toes are facing toward the right side of the mat. You can keep a bend in that left knee. Opening the torso to the right. Option to keep the right hand on the right hip, or you can reach the right hand up to the sky. See if you can use the power of the right glute to lift that right leg. Yeah. These look really good. Breathe. Send the breath to that standing leg. I know the left leg is tired. We're using the strength of our breath here. Bring that right hand to the right hip. Start to turn both hip points facing down toward the mat. Allow the right foot to meet the left, folding into forward fold. Allow there to be a gentle or generous bend in the knees so that the torso can rest on the thighs. And we took ragdoll, clasping opposite elbows. If you'd like to do that again, you can. You can also just rest the hands on the earth, just making sure that the shoulder blades are sliding down the back. We're not hunching the shoulders up to the earlobes. You can even take a clasp behind the back and lift the hands off of the back. That might feel nice. Getting into the shoulders a little more. We'll say 2 rounds of breath here. And your next inhale, half lift, palms to shins, spine is straight. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sink those hips back, chair pose. Reach the hands to the sky. And again, you have the option, you can modify the depth of this pose, of the depth of this chair. We've done so much in our legs already, even in our arms. So if you want to bring your hands to heart center, giving your shoulders a little bit of a break. And then you have the option of sinking into the hips a little bit deeper if you have the energy for that. Using your own wisdom to guide what you need in your practice. Begin to shift weight into that left leg. Get light on that right heel, right foot. Kick the right heel into the right glute. And then we're going to step the right foot back about 2/3 of the way down the mat. Right toes facing toward the top right corner. Bend into that left knee, both hip points facing toward the top of the mat. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky, warrior one. Keep that right thigh lifted to the sky so that back leg is really strong. Think like a plank, like plank legs. Really straight and strong here. And find an even distribution of weight between the legs even here, right? So we're not using just all of the effort in that front leg to take us into this pose. We're activating both of these legs here to find equal effort of work. So maybe pressing that right heel into the mat, working that leg a little bit more. Maybe closing the eyes and feeling the strength of this warrior one. And then you have option to bring hands to heart center here too, if you'd like to give your shoulders a little rest. Inhale, straighten that left leg. Grow tall in the spine. On the exhale, hinge forward halfway. Spine is long and you're reaching out through the crown of the head beyond the top of the mat. Finding that equal effort of work between the legs here. Exhale, folding all the way in, round the spine, allow the belly to rest it, come in toward the thigh, keeping a slight bend in that left knee. Forehead reaches down toward the leg, it doesn't have to touch anything. And then your hands can rest on your thigh, maybe on the earth. And again, you have your block handy, you can use your block. And then just checking in with our sassy hips, taking that left thumb, plugging it into that left hip crease, and then drawing the hips back in towards center. And breathe. Again, this is a forward folding pose, so it gives you an opportunity for self reflection and introspection. What's come up for you in your practice today? On the next inhale, bend into that left knee, frame the left foot with the hands, step that right foot back just a little bit further, step the left foot back to meet the right high plank pose, and then option to take a vinyasa. You can skip it and we'll meet in downward facing dog. From down dog, inhale, reach that right heel to the sky. And stick with me, we're gonna do something fun. So we're gonna sweep the right foot on the outside of the mat and then touch right toes to right wrist. Inhale, reach that right heel back up to the sky. Let's do it again. Inhale, sweep that right foot on the outside of the mat, touching right toes to right wrist. Inhale, coming back up. So you might have to pause. Maybe you have a bent knee. Maybe you actually have to use your hand to assist you up to get those toes to touch the wrist. Anything goes. Any type of movement that looks similar to what I'm doing and to what I'm cueing is perfectly acceptable. We're going to do a couple rounds like this. I know you guys love it. That's why you show up here. But stay connected to the breath. Use the breath to steady this movement. So we're asking a lot of our hip flexors. We're asking a lot of our core, our obliques, our psoas. We'll say one more. Right toes to right wrist. And then let's take, on the inhale, step the left foot on the outside of the left hand. And then we're gonna spin the back foot flat, almost like warrior two feet. So we're not coming up into warrior two yet. So we're taking warrior 2 feet. I'm gonna face you guys. And then we're gonna walk the hands toward that right foot, start to bend into that right knee, point the left toes up to the sky. We're in the supported Skandasana, supported side lunge. Start to lift up, bringing hands to heart center. This active lunge here, beautiful. So you can stay lifted. If you want to lower, you can begin to lower, but only go so far so that the heel does not start to lift off of the mat. We want to keep that right heel planted on the mat. If you want to plant the hands on the inside for supported side lunge, you can stay here. We'll say a couple more rounds of breath. Yes, we are working those legs today, ladies. Couple more rounds of breath. Beautiful. Start to rise all the way up, bend into the left knee, straighten that right foot, right leg, right toes are still pointed toward the right side of the mat. Our arms come out to the side like a T. Hello, warrior two. Here we are again. Breathe. Maybe sink a little bit deeper into that left leg. One more breath. On the inhale, we're gonna spin onto the ball of the back foot and then reaching the hands to the sky, coming into crescent pose, both hip points facing toward the top of the mat. And breathe. Bring hands to heart center. Start to bend into that right knee. Gaze forward, and we're gonna step all the way up, coming into chair pose at the top of the mat. Oh, hello, chair. Lots of chairs tonight. Maybe sink the hips a little bit deeper. This will be our second to last chair. And then very slowly on the exhale, start to rise up, coming into mountain pose. Oh, so good. Pause, close the eyes, and enjoy this gentle release in the legs. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step both feet back, high plank pose. Option to take a vinyasa or meet in downward facing dog. All right, let's get that last side, shall we? Inhale, reach the left heel to the sky. And yes, start to circle that left foot on the outside of the mat, tapping left toes to left wrist. Inhale, left heel to the sky again. Exhale, left toes to left wrist. Inhale, left heel to the sky. We'll do this for some more time. Need to be balanced. Again, if it were up to me, we'd have more sides. So good news is we only have two. See if we can stay strong and stable in the shoulders, staying planted and rooted in those shoulders. You know, we're asking a lot of these hips, asking a lot of this leg. One more tap and one more reach. And then exhale, step the left foot on the outside of the left hand. Spin onto the back foot. Spin the back foot flat. Right toes are facing the right side of the mat. Walk the hands on the inside of the legs. Start to bend into that right knee. And then we're in this supported side lunge. Flex the left foot, toes are reaching up toward the sky. I'm gonna turn around and face you guys. I think I cued this funny on the other side. So if this is the side you did last time, you can just switch it, just switch into, so your left toes would be facing toward the left side of the mat, and then your right toes will be up. So I'm sorry if I confused the cueing, but we're doing the opposite side. And if you don't remember, then just follow along and we'll have some fun. All right, so option to stay here in this supported Skandasana, or you can start to bring hands to heart center and lifting up into this more active variation, and then sinking into a depth of the hip that feels comfortable for you, and that you can keep that right heel planted on the earth. So you can come as low as you want, as long as that right heel is staying planted on the earth. We're staying lifted. As high as feels comfortable for you too. So again, the higher you lift out, the easier it's going to be on that leg. Your next inhale, come all the way up, bend into that left knee. Arms come out to the side like a T, coming into warrior two. Breathe. Maybe close the eyes and again, feel the power of this pose here. Inhale, start to spin onto the ball of the back foot. Reach the hands to the sky, crescent pose. Really lift that right leg to the sky, shoulders stacked over hips here. Sink into that left knee. Breathe. Let's bring the hands to heart center. Bend into that right knee, gaze forward. On the exhale, stepping all the way up to the top of the mat, Coming into chair pose. This is your last chair. Sinking those hips. Maybe you go a little bit deeper and let it burn. Or if you are already cooked, just lifting out. Maybe you're in a tall chair at the bar, ordering your drink. Or maybe you're playing along with me and sinking into those hips a little deeper. Whatever you're doing, I love. Very slowly on your next exhale, rise up like you don't want to stand, like you're so comfortable in your chair. Oh, close the eyes. Enjoy the release in your legs. What a lovely sensation. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step both feet back, high plank pose. This is your last vinyasa. So anything extra that you want, maybe additional push-ups, maybe an extended back bend, anything that feels good for you here, take that now. And we are going to meet in a seat. Give you a moment to move, to shift, to take any final movement that you need as we start our cool down. Legs extended out long in front of us. We're going to find an equal distribution of weight in the sit bones. So just kind of wiggle and balance a little bit. Grow tall in the spine. Flex the feet. Toes are coming in toward the nose. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips, pausing at your first sign of resistance, keeping the spine long. Allow the hands to rest on the earth. Holding here. So by keeping the spine long, it allows us to direct our effort to the back of the legs and a little bit less of the low back. It's still okay to be feeling this in your hips and low back, but we're trying to direct more attention to the effort that we made in the back of the legs today. On your next exhale, if you'd like to pull yourself a little deeper, you can. If you are ready to round the spine and you'd like to get into the low back a little bit more, you can round the spine and allow the head, the belly, everything to fold in. And again, no bonus points. If the forehead touches the legs, or if your hands touch your feet. It's not about what this looks like, it's about what it feels like. And again, we find ourselves in another forward fold and one more opportunity for self-reflection and introspection. Looking at anything else that came up for you in class today. On your next exhale, using the assistance of your hands to guide the torso back up. And you can just keep walking those hands back and guiding the torso back. We're going to meet on our backs, on our mats. Let's draw the knees into the chest. Maybe holding on to the knees. And then just finding a gentle rock from side to side. So massaging out the low back, the hips a little. And then allow the feet to plant about a foot or two in front of the glutes, and then walk the feet out the width of the mat. Bring your arms out to the side like a T. Take an inhale. And then exhale, allow everything to fall over to the left, keeping that right shoulder planted. Gaze can be out in front of you, or if it feels okay on the neck, you can take your gaze out beyond the right fingertips. If you feel good, if you're feeling enough sensation in the body, you can stay here. If you'd like additional assist in this stretch and to deepen the sensation, you can cross the left ankle over the thigh. It'll create some additional traction and allow you to get a little bit deeper into that right hip and the right side body. Staying connected to the breath, even in these final moments, becomes even more important in this more passive part of our practice to keep the mind from wandering. If you took that crossing, you can go ahead and uncross that left ankle. On the inhale, draw the knees back to center. And then on the exhale, allow everything to fall over to the right. Again, keeping that left shoulder planted. Gaze can be in front of you, or if it feels okay, you can take the gaze out beyond the left fingertips. If you enjoyed that additional assist on the other side and or just want to experiment with it on this side, you can cross right ankle over left thigh here. So as we approach the end of our practice, I like to take this opportunity to allow you to bring in and cherish and celebrate your body. The ways in which your body moved for you today, the ways in which your body moves for you every day. It allows you to feel, to live. If you took that crossing, you can uncross the legs. On your next inhale, draw the knees back to center. Let's draw the knees back into the chest for one final squeeze. Wrap the hands around the shins, pull the forehead in toward the knees. Let's take a big, deep inhale, fill up the lungs, hold it at the top. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Let the legs come down the length of the mat, arms down to the side. Close the eyes. We tuck the chin into the chest a little bit and enjoy these next moments of rest. Shavasana.
start to bring some awareness back. If you have some place to be and would like to get moving, maybe start to wiggle some fingers and toes. Invite in some deeper breaths. Bruiser's breathing too. If you are happy in Shavasana, you are welcome to take a longer Shavasana today. We worked really hard. But if you would like to join me and finish in a seat, make your way onto a side. And in your own time, when you're ready, pushing yourself up to a seat. Bringing hands to heart center for Anjali Mudra. It is truly my honor and privilege to sit here and share with you this practice of yoga, this asana, and the beautiful lessons of this practice. I thank each of you for showing up, not only to allow me to guide you, but for yourselves. The light in me truly honors the light in each of you. Namaste. I love you guys.